She cleaned the floors of a company her son proudly called his own. Walked past him in the hallway every day. And he never once recognized her. But on the day she quietly retired, a single letter revealed the truth. And what he discovered next broke him in ways success never could. Every morning before sunrise, when the city still slept and office lights were dark, Shabana unlocked the glass doors of the towering building. To most people, it was just another corporate office. To her, it was something much more. She stepped inside quietly, placing her worn bag in the corner, tying her scarf tighter as she picked up the cleaning cart. The marble floors reflected her small figure as she moved from one section to another, wiping, sweeping, making sure everything looked perfect before the world arrived. No one noticed her. And that was exactly how she wanted it. By 9 a.m., the building transformed. Employees rushed in, conversations filled the air, heels clicked across the polished floors she had just cleaned. Among them was Ayaan. Confident. Sharp. Successful. The founder of the company. The men people admired. The men who walked past her almost every day, without a second glance. Her son. Shabana always lowered her gaze when he passed. Not out of fear. But out of something deeper. A quiet acceptance. Years ago, when Ayaan left home to chase his dreams, things hadn't ended well. Poverty had shaped their lives, and ambition had pulled him away from it. "I won't live like this forever," he had said once, his voice filled with determination. And he didn't. He built something big. Something powerful. Something he believed he built alone. Shabana never corrected him. Because she remembered something else too. The nights she stayed awake sewing clothes just to pay his school fees. The meals she skipped so he wouldn't go hungry. The sacrifices she never spoke about. Not because she wanted recognition. But because she wanted him to fly. When she found out years later that Ayaan owned this company, she didn't rush to meet him. She didn't call. She didn't announce herself. Instead, she applied for a job. As a janitor. No one questioned her. No one looked twice. To them, she was just another worker trying to survive. And she accepted that role quietly. Because for her, being close to her son, even if he didn't know it, was enough. There were moments. Small ones. That tested her strength. Like the day she overheard employees praising Ayaan. "He's self-made," one of them said. "Did everything on his own." Shabana paused for a moment, her hand still on the mop. Then she smiled faintly. Not out of bitterness. But out of love. Because to her, it didn't matter what the world believed. She knew the truth. And that was enough. Sometimes, she would watch him from a distance. Standing in meetings. Leading with confidence. And in those moments, her eyes would fill with quiet pride. Not tears of sadness. But of fulfillment. Because everything she had endured had led to this. Years passed like this. Silent. Unnoticed. Unspoken. Until one day, everything began to change. Her hands, once steady, began to tremble slightly. Her steps slowed. Age had caught up with her. And the work was no longer easy. Still, she never complained. Until the day her body simply refused. She sat down in the empty hallway, her breathing heavy, her strength fading. A young employee rushed over. "Are you okay?" he asked, concerned. Shabana nodded faintly. "I think it's time," she whispered. "Time to leave." The announcement came quietly. The janitor on the third floor was retiring. No one reacted strongly. No farewell event. No celebration. Just another worker leaving. Except for one thing. Shabana left behind a letter. Not addressed to the company. Not to management. But to Ayaan. It reached his desk by accident. At least, that's what it seemed like. He picked it up absent-mindedly, assuming it was just another document. But when he saw his name written in simple, familiar handwriting, something inside him paused. He opened it slowly. And began to read. "My son. You may not recognize me, but I have seen you every day. Ayan frowned slightly. Confusion flickered across his face. I walked past you in the halls you built. I watched you become the man you always dreamed of being. His grip on the paper tightened. I wanted to tell you who I was, many times. But I didn't. Because I didn't want my presence to remind you of the life you worked so hard to leave behind. Ayan's breath grew shallow. I am proud of you. Not because of your success, but because you never gave up. The room felt smaller now. Quieter. I was there, even when you didn't see me. Ayan stood up abruptly. Something didn't feel right. Something felt familiar. Too familiar. Then he read the final line. You're Amy. The paper slipped slightly from his hands. No. It couldn't be. His mind raced. His heart pounded. Memories flooded back. Her face. Her voice. Her sacrifices. Everything he had buried in his pursuit of success. And suddenly, it all made sense. The quiet janitor. The woman he never looked at. The presence he ignored. His mother. Ayan ran. Out of his office. Through the hallways. Past the same floors she had cleaned for years. Calling out. Amy. But it was too late. She had already left. Hours later, he found her. Sitting outside a small, modest home. The same kind of home he once promised to escape. She looked up as he approached. Their eyes met. And in that moment, years of silence broke. Why didn't you tell me? He asked, his voice breaking. Shabana smiled gently. Because you didn't need me to remind you where you came from, she said softly. Tears streamed down his face. I needed you, he whispered. He knelt in front of her, holding her hands. Hands that had built his future. Hands he never truly saw. I thought I did everything alone, he said. She shook her head slowly. No one ever does. That day changed everything. Not his success, but his understanding of it. He returned to his company with a different heart. A different perspective. He introduced policies that valued every worker. From executives to janitors. Because he finally understood. Greatness isn't built alone.